Welcome back to True Crime Pulse, where we uncover the most twisted and shocking cases of betrayal, murder, and mystery. Today, we're diving into a chilling tale that begins with a picture-perfect family and ends with a devastating revelation. Leslie Jenea Chance is a school principal, a devoted mother of three, and, by all appearances, a loving wife. But behind the facade of suburban bliss, a web of lies, betrayal, and cold-blooded murder would unravel, leaving her husband, Todd Chance, dead in an almond grove. Was this the perfect crime inspired by a crime-themed exhibit? Or was it a desperate act fueled by infidelity and financial greed? This is the story of love turned lethal, a family torn apart, and a woman who still proclaims her innocence. Stay tuned as we explore the evidence, the trial, and the haunting questions that remain. Did Jenea Chance commit the ultimate betrayal, or was she wrongfully convicted? Let's dive in. In August 2013, the quiet, sun-drenched town of Bakersfield, California, was thrown into turmoil when the lifeless body of Todd Chance was discovered in a remote almond grove. Todd, a 45-year-old devoted husband and father, had been shot twice at close range, a brutal act that shocked the close-knit community. His sudden and violent death left investigators scrambling for answers, and what initially seemed to be a straightforward case quickly evolved into a labyrinth of questions and contradictions. With each piece of evidence uncovered, the mystery only deepened, leaving everyone wondering who could have wanted Todd Chance dead and why. Todd Chance was born on March 10, 1968, to Diana and Travis Chance in the small farming community of Shafter, just outside Bakersfield. Raised on his family's farm alongside his younger brother, Scott, Todd grew up surrounded by hard work and simple values. From a young age, he helped his parents care for their livestock, including pigs and horses, and learned to appreciate the rewards of dedication and effort. A true cowboy at heart, Todd often sported his signature cowboy hat and boots and loved nothing more than spending time outdoors with his father, particularly during off-road rides through the countryside. As Todd entered his teenage years, his passion shifted to race cars. For his 16th birthday, his parents gifted him a blue Mustang Cobra, a car that would come to symbolize his adventurous spirit and confident demeanor. With his rugged good looks, easy charm, and sporty car, Todd quickly became a magnet for attention. His mother often joked about how girls would leave notes on his windshield, asking him to call them. Yet, despite the steady stream of admirers, Todd was not one to settle down easily. That changed when he met Jenea, a young cashier working at a local pharmacy. Jenea had endured her own share of hardships, including a failed marriage that ended due to her ex-husband's infidelity. Now, a single mother to a little girl named Jessica, Jenea was cautious about trusting again. When she first met Todd, who had recently started working as a security guard at the pharmacy, she dismissed him as a ladies' man. However, as they spent more time together, her perception changed. Beneath Todd's confident exterior, she found a kind, caring, and sincere man. Todd, in turn, fell deeply in love with Jenea, embracing not only her but also her young daughter, whom he treated as his own. Their love story progressed quickly, and in 1996, the couple married. Over the years, they expanded their family with the addition of 2 more daughters, Samantha and Sarah. Despite the demands of raising 3 children, Todd and Jenea managed to build a stable and fulfilling life together. Jenea worked tirelessly, juggling multiple jobs while pursuing her dream of earning a degree in education. Her perseverance eventually paid off when she rose from school secretary to the principal of Fairview Elementary School, a role that brought her immense pride and provided the family with financial security. Todd, meanwhile, pursued his passion for vehicles by becoming a truck driver, a career that allowed him to indulge his love for the open road. By the summer of 2013, the Chance family was thriving. They had recently returned from a luxurious vacation to San Francisco and Las Vegas, a trip that their daughters described as the highlight of their lives. From the outside, the Chances appeared to be the embodiment of the American dream: successful, loving, and content. But on the morning of August 25, 2013, their world was shattered. At 9:27 a.m., police received a call from workers at an almond grove located about 15 miles outside Bakersfield. They had stumbled upon a body lying in the dirt. Emergency responders arrived at the scene and quickly identified the victim as Todd Chance. He still had his wallet and identification on him, and his mobile phone was found nearby. tire tracks at the scene suggested that a vehicle had been driven away, but Todd's prized black 2011 Mustang was nowhere to be found. Todd had been shot twice in the chest at close range, and one of the bullets appeared to have pierced his arm, indicating he may have tried to defend himself. The fact that his personal belongings were untouched initially led detectives to suspect a carjacking. However, the discovery of Todd's Mustang later that same day raised doubts about that theory. The sleek black car was found abandoned in a rough neighborhood notorious for gang activity and drug trafficking, an area that seemed a strange choice for someone to leave such an expensive vehicle. Residents reported the car to the police, who discovered it unlocked with the keys lying on the floor. Even more startling was the revolver found inside, containing 2 spent casings, which investigators believed was the murder weapon. The scene was puzzling. Why would a killer leave behind such critical evidence? A closer forensic examination of the Mustang revealed fingerprints and DNA belonging to Todd's wife, Jenea Chance. Her prints on the driver's side door and gear shift could be explained by her being his spouse and occasionally using the car. However, this detail, coupled with the strange circumstances surrounding the vehicle's abandonment, prompted detectives to take a closer look at Jenea. The theory of a random carjacking was quickly discarded, and the investigation began to focus on the possibility of a premeditated attack. As the evidence mounted, one thing became clear: Todd Chance's murder was not the result of an impulsive crime, but a deliberate and calculated act. His clean sneakers, despite the dusty terrain where his body was found, suggested he had been killed elsewhere and transported to the almond grove. The meticulous placement of the Mustang and the weapon further hinted at a plan designed to mislead investigators. The tragedy left the Bakersfield community reeling, as the image of a loving family and an idyllic life began to unravel under the weight of suspicion and grief. With this evidence, the police invited Jenea for questioning. Jenea provided detectives with phone records, bank statements, and a detailed timeline of events from the morning Todd left the house, claiming he was heading to a gun show with his father. She stated that Todd had departed around 7:30 or 8 a.m., leaving her at home, where she spent the morning working on her computer. Their daughters, Samantha and Sarah, corroborated her account, recalling seeing their mother typing on her laptop around 9:30 or 10 a.m. However, when the police asked Jenea to inspect Todd's gun safe, she made a startling discovery: his pistol was missing. Jenea found it odd that Todd had taken the gun, though she speculated he might have intended to trade or sell it at the gun show. The fact that a weapon matching the description of Todd's pistol was found in his abandoned Mustang raised a chilling possibility. It seemed Todd had been shot with his gun. But when detectives interviewed Todd's father, Travis, a troubling contradiction emerged. Travis denied any knowledge of a gun show, stating he hadn't seen Todd that day and that no plans had been made to meet. His account clashed starkly with Jenea's, creating uncertainty and raising new questions about the events of that morning. Had Todd lied to his wife about his plans, or was Jenea deliberately fabricating her story? Investigators decided to verify Todd's supposed destination. While the gun show was real, it was held on the opposite side of Bakersfield, far from where Todd's body was discovered. This discrepancy cast further doubt on the claim that Todd had been heading to the event. As detectives delved into Todd's phone records, they uncovered an unexpected twist: intimate photos of his ex-fiancée, Carrie Williams, along with flirtatious text messages exchanged between them. The texts included discussions about personal matters, some of which referenced Jenea. This revelation shifted the investigation's focus and suggested Todd might have been secretly rekindling a relationship with his former lover. Jenea's composed demeanor during the initial police visit, coupled with her inconsistencies, now seemed more suspicious. Detectives theorized that Todd may have been planning to meet Carrie rather than attending the gun show, potentially setting off a jealous confrontation with Jenea. The idea that Jenea might have discovered Todd's secret correspondence with Carrie and, in a fit of rage, murdered her husband began to take shape. Adding complexity to the case, detectives learned that Todd and Carrie's relationship predated his marriage to Jenea. Though they had parted ways on bad terms, they reconnected in 2012, just a year before Todd's death. This renewed connection provided Jenea with a possible motive, casting her in an increasingly sinister light and making her a prime suspect. The police were initially unsure about Carrie Williams' potential involvement, so they arranged an interview to better understand her connection to Todd. Aside from the intimate photos and messages, Carrie provided a solid alibi. During the time of the crime, she was at a museum with her daughter. Her presence was verified by a parking ticket. Carrie explained that she and Todd had reconnected online after many years, exchanging messages and photos, but they hadn't met in person. With her alibi confirmed, Carrie was ruled out as a suspect. The detectives, still suspicious of Todd's wife, decided to avoid making accusations without concrete proof. Their persistence eventually paid off as new, unsettling evidence came to light. They already had the victim's phone, gun, and car, but none had revealed foreign fingerprints or DNA. Determined, the police returned to the street where Todd's Mustang had been abandoned. This time, they canvassed the neighborhood, hoping a resident might have noticed something. Several witnesses reported seeing a woman near the car that morning, someone they didn't recognize. The woman, described as middle-aged, was wearing a baseball cap that concealed her hair and large sunglasses that covered most of her face. She exited the black Mustang and walked away. Despite her potential motive, detectives remained cautious, unwilling to accuse Jenea without concrete proof. Their persistence eventually uncovered new evidence, but it raised more questions than answers. Surveillance footage from the area where Todd's car was abandoned showed a figure matching witness descriptions: a woman wearing a baseball cap and sunglasses, carrying a red backpack and a plastic bag. The footage captured her exiting the Mustang and walking away. However, the video quality was poor, making it difficult to confirm her identity. 4 days after Todd's death, Jenea was summoned to the station to collect his Mustang. She arrived with her father-in-law, Travis, who was questioned separately about the surveillance footage but denied recognizing the woman shown. When Jenea was confronted with the footage, she similarly denied any connection to the figure in the video. However, when pressed further, she abruptly requested a lawyer, leading to her arrest on suspicion of murder. Jenea's arrest sent shockwaves through the community, dividing public opinion. Some believed she was guilty, while others insisted the police had targeted the wrong person. Her daughters, Samantha and Sarah, stood by her side, convinced of her innocence. As the investigation continued, detectives searched the Chance family home and confiscated all electronic devices, but the evidence gathered so far remained circumstantial. Without definitive proof or higher quality footage, the district attorney's office declined to press charges. After 5 days in custody, Jenea was released and, to the astonishment of many, allowed to reclaim Todd's Mustang. Though free, Jenea remained the prime suspect. The idyllic image of a perfect family minus 17 years of marriage, well-behaved children, and recent vacation photos had been shattered. The investigation left lingering questions about betrayal, motive, and what truly transpired the morning Todd Chance was killed. No one had noticed any significant signs of trouble in their marriage, which made the case all the more perplexing. While evidence increasingly pointed to Jenea as the perpetrator, securing a conviction proved challenging. For years, investigators refused to let the case go cold. They relentlessly pursued additional evidence, determined to hold Jenea accountable for Todd's murder. Their efforts eventually paid off. During a family vacation in Las Vegas, the Chances visited a crime-themed exhibition inspired by a popular TV show. What seemed like a harmless outing would later take on sinister significance. Detectives discovered eerie parallels between the exhibition's cases and the details of Todd's murder. One case highlighted a suspect using a payphone to avoid detection, while another described a woman who changed clothes to avoid leaving trace evidence, methods uncannily mirrored in Todd's case, as seen in surveillance footage. Investigators suspected that Jenea had drawn inspiration from the exhibit in planning the crime. Further incriminating evidence emerged. Jenea's fingerprints were found on Todd's car, specifically on the driver's door and gear shift. Despite her claim of never driving a manual transmission vehicle, her explanation raised suspicion. Surveillance footage from weeks before the murder captured Jenea asking a store employee for a payphone location, odd behavior, considering she owned 2 mobile phones. Additionally, forensic analysis of her computer contradicted her alibi of working at home during the crime, showing no activity until 11 a.m. The detectives confronted the Chance family with this evidence. Jessica, the eldest daughter, initially identified her mother in surveillance footage and recognized a familiar red backpack, but later retracted her statement, unwilling to implicate Jenea. Meanwhile, Sarah and Samantha, the younger daughters, remained steadfast in their belief that their mother was innocent, insisting she was home at the time. Investigators, however, uncovered potential motives. Jenea had recently discovered Todd's affair with his ex-fiancée, Carrie, and stood to gain $500,000 from his life insurance policy. Divorce would have likely left her financially burdened, making murder a more appealing alternative. Although Jenea received a significant portion of the insurance payout, Todd's parents fought in court to secure funds for their granddaughters. After years of investigation, Leslie Jenea Chance was arrested in 2016 at the age of 49 and charged with her husband's murder. The December trial revealed chilling details of Todd's final moments. Prosecutors alleged that during a drive together, Jenea shot Todd as he attempted to shield himself, delivering a fatal second shot before dragging his body into an almond grove. She then abandoned the car in a rough neighborhood, cleaning it with disinfectant wipes, but leaving behind the gun and keys. Her carefully laid plan unraveled when residents promptly reported the vehicle to police. Despite her daughter's alibi and her assertions of innocence, Jenea's defense crumbled. Evidence showed she had recently ordered contact lenses, debunking her claim of poor eyesight, and surveillance footage linked her to the crime. In January 2020, a jury found her guilty, shocking her family, particularly her daughters, who never believed she was capable of murder. Jenea was sentenced in September 2020 to 50 years to life in prison minus 25 years for the murder and 25 for using a firearm in the crime. Though she continued to proclaim her innocence and appealed the verdict in January 2023, the conviction was upheld. Jenea will not be eligible for parole until 2041. Despite the conviction and years of investigations, the story of Todd Chance's murder remains one of chilling complexity and heartbreak. Leslie Jenea Chance, once a respected principal and devoted mother, now spends her days behind bars, insisting on her innocence, even as the evidence against her looms large. Her daughters, once unwavering in their support, are left to grapple with the devastating reality of their fractured family. Todd's parents, who fought tirelessly for justice, mourn the loss of their son while raising his memory as a reminder of the consequences of unchecked greed and betrayal. This case serves as a haunting testament to how a single act can shatter lives, unravel trust, and leave a trail of unanswered questions. Did Leslie truly believe she could get away with the perfect crime? Or is there a piece of the puzzle still missing? As Leslie Chance sits in her cell, facing decades of solitude, one truth remains unshakable: the life she once knew is gone forever, replaced by the shadow of a crime that shocked everyone who thought they knew her. Thank you for listening to True Crime Pulse. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.